Hey, Chris Lipe here with Alice in Chains, Layne Staley, Rooster. I grew up with this song. It is the fourth single, I believe, released off of Dirt. It was one of the albums I used to carry around in my little pouch with my Discman. So it's super fun to hear it in this context with all the tracks isolated out. So we're going to get a chance to listen to the band by itself, all the minute details of the instrumental performance, and then, of course, dive deep into the vocal performance and vocal production we get to hear here. Layne had just an incredible innate tone to his voice, and when blending harmonies with Jerry, the blend, there just wasn't really a better blend. I don't think. I'm able to use projects and songs like this in this way because this is a singing channel. I teach people how to sing. And in fact, I teach people how to sing like this. Distortion, compression, mixed voice. If you want to get a handle on some of those techniques in your voice, the best place to start is by clicking the link below and joining my free course. There's lots of ways we can work together from there, but I'll help you start to go down the path to sing like some of your favorite singers. Ooh, another fun fact, this song was actually written by Jerry for his father, whose nickname was Rooster. And later, Jerry actually named his publishing company Rooster's Son. So this is a pretty personal song. With the way this song starts, I'd like to go directly to the drums when they first come in. It's quite the spectacle here, how big these sound. But, listen. Ugh. I always remember when the drums came in on this song after the, long intro without any drums, just how massive they sounded. But I didn't really think about it's the snare reverb. Listen to the kick. That's a good sounding kick. Snare reverb, listen to the pre-delay on that snare, the reverb on the snare. So you hear the snare happen right in the center, and then you hear it disperse. You hear the sound go like that, but there's a delay. And this is a really common, although I never really heard it this way until just now on this song, but this is a really common way of getting something to be right in the front of the mix and also really big and taking up lots of space in the mix at the same time. If without that pre-delay, without that slight delay after that sound hits, the initial sound, it just can sound muddy. So this kind of technique, and we use it on vocals too. I use it on vocals quite a bit. If you want a long-tailed reverb, put a little bit of pre-delay on it so that the vocal still gets glued to the beginning or to the front of the mix. Same thing, same technique here with the snare. Super cool. And you can hear, listen to the... So that's the snare that's not... You just hear it in the room. So fascinating to me to hear the more raw sounds. Great sounding snare, but they have spot mic'd it, maybe even sampled it. Yeah, that's a sample. What a great sound, though. Great sound. With the bass. I like building the mix. Let's talk about the bass just a little bit, because throughout, at the beginning here even, this was the iconic, chorus bass sound of the 90s. It just made, this is how bass was supposed to sound on the albums I listened to, I thought. But one thing you don't hear when all the other stuff comes in is how they change the bass tone. Listen to that flange sound or phaser sound. It blends so perfectly with the guitar and the guitar layers that you don't really notice that, that flange is on the bass, not the guitar. I mean, it's obvious now that I've heard it broken out, but... Having the clean guitar sound there without the other sound. I mean, yeah, it's there, but being able to hear it in that detail. I can't say that in my youthful listening state that I had been in when first introduced to this song that I would have noticed that that clean part is going, at least in this section, with the really, cool distorted wah thing. That's really awesome. Huh. Yeah. Wow, what great sounds. Let's listen to a little more of the guitar here. It's not delay. Reverb, that's a multi-tap delay. You hear it going in different places. Hopefully you're listening in headphones. Oh, that's beautiful. Ah, so cool. Oh, that step down. It just brings me all the way back to being in the back seat of my friend's minivan while we're going on a ski trip with my Discman and my headphones, listening to this album. I mean, yeah, so cool. All right, let's get into these vocals. There's a lot to talk about with Layne's approach and production, and there'll be even more to talk about after we hear things in isolation like this. Now listen. You don't really hear it with when the harmony is in there, but with the way that he doesn't go down into chest voice, he stays in his head voice. And so it's a little warbly and a little bit sharp. But it's part of what made this line so vulnerable. He's not, he's not doing that. It's like, so we had to stay a little sharp. But you combine it with the harmony. Oh, just so cool. This is why you don't want to pitch correct stuff. Like, the fact that that's a little sharp in there creates this, I mean, it made that eerie sound. It being just a little off made it the most on it could possibly be. Just beautiful. Right there again, the same thing happened.
Ain't found a way to kill me yet.
So they're using the same reverb approach here in a more subtle way than they did, or as they did on the snare.
Ain't found a way to kill me yet.
With
eyes burn with stinging sweat.
There's modulation, there's chorus on there. Hadn't heard that before either.
Seems every path leads me to nowhere.
Nowhere. Now, I want to say something real quick, because this era, and Layne Staley in particular, is often accused of over-yarling. But I don't hear it as, I mean, listen to this again.
Nowhere.
Nowhere. It's not nowhere. It's not really that.
Nowhere.
There might be a little bit of it, but I think what happens is we tend to hear it, you know, in the mix and everything, and we tend to hear people cover it, and then there's parodies or whatever. But this, like Eddie Vedder, I mean, this is the way he sang. This is the sound. And I think that this, that all the 90s singers sang with this sort of cupped tongue back, like, that's the cheap imitation of singing like a 90s singer. It's not really what they did. And I think about that every time I listen to Layne. It's like, I don't really hear the you know, satirical yarl that people accuse these singers of. And I don't hear it in Layne. I mean, he has that sort of tone, but if it hadn't been characterized and generalized so much, it's just the way he sings. It's not that tongue tension marble mouth thing.
Wife and kids and household pet.
Yeah, he's bringing his resonance around, but that's part of what makes Layne awesome, is that dynamic resonance. He's not stuck in that.
Wife and kids and household pet. Army Green was no safe bet.
I like how it grounds notes like that.
The bullet screamed to me from somewhere.
Where, not where. It's far more forward than we give him credit for.
A bullet scream.
Scream, right? That compression. The bullet screamed. And the way he was able to balance his tone and compression was just...
Here they come to snuff the rooster.
Now, there's another example. It's a little off pitch-wise.
Here they come to snuff the rooster.
But there's doubles in there, and it serves the genre. It serves the quality of the song.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here come the rooster. Yeah.
Now, I had never heard, I mean, I know that things back off, but when you listen with the harmonies, listen here.
Rooster. Yeah.
You miss how subdued and how he kind of went, backed off his intensity, and then for that, yeah, how he came in there. You missed that dynamic change. Listen.
Yeah.
It's almost like this. Rooster, yeah, right? Like there's this massive back off. One more time.
Yeah. here come the rooster. Yeah.
It makes it all the more brilliant how he read the music, followed the dynamics, and came back there just right.
You know he ain't gonna die.
And that we'll have to talk more about that line.
No, no, no. You know he ain't gonna die.
So we have to go over this section again because these lines are they're so perfect.
You know he ain't gonna die.
Listen to how and it's the subtleties that make it so Layne, but because of that, so unique and so earwormish, right?
You know he ain't gonna die.
Die! I mean, die! Like how he sort of closes down. Die is like 5 different sounds.
You know he ain't gonna die.
Hear how he closes it down. Hey, and there, die, die! And of course, I've got a completely different sounding voice. But the approach is worth noting, right? This could very easily be sung like, die! And be really boring and almost boy bandish. But if we can experiment with our voices in ways that sort of let it fringe out a little bit, that's all he's doing. The way he moves his resonance around, the way he treats even each syllable, each vowel placement as unique, it's so incredibly musical.
No, no, no.
Hear that little crack in there? No, no, no.
No, no, no.
No, no.
No. You know he ain't gonna die.
How bright. So this, if you've seen some of my mixed voice videos, he has this sort of mixed voice posture. Die, highly compressed, exaggerating, of course, but listen here.
No, he ain't gonna.
Like exaggerate that in your own voice and practice moving that around. Die, and you'll get a little sense at what makes his voice so cool. All right, moving on.
Here they come to snuff the rooster.
Again, sorry, I'll let it play in a minute. Rooster! Moving that resonance around.
Here they come to snuff the rooster.
Pitch problems again, right?
Yeah.
There again, you don't hear this stuff the same way at all without all the music. It really exposes a lot here.
Yeah.
Yeah! And again, I'm not trying to put myself on the same level as Layne by making these sounds. I'm merely trying to show that, yeah, it doesn't sound quite right when I do it, but that's not really the point. By me noticing and observing and then experimenting with my own voice, you never know what can happen for revealing new qualities in your own voice. Don't play it safe. Don't worry about making stupid noises. I make a lot of stupid noises when I study Layne because everything he does comes out ridiculously sounding in my voice. But that's okay, because it's not about sounding good, it's about learning. And then later you'll sound good, but not like Layne.
Yeah, here come the rooster. Yeah.
Ugh.
You know he ain't gonna die.
Listen to that agility. And the compression kind of goes in and out too. Die! And he's able to still keep it compressed even in the midst of that run. That's really tough.
No, no, no. You know he ain't gonna die.
And that no, listen.
Oh, no.
No, no. he really messed with the way that no sounded. But again, that's what makes it interesting. It's not static.
Walking tall machine gun man, they spit on me in my homeland. Gloria, send me pictures of my boy.
Boy. If anything, it's this resonance is this sort of bright, almost cry, whine, boy. Ah.
Got my pills against mosquito death. My buddy's breathing his dying breath.
You hear the harmonics that happen after the phrases. Listen to this.
Dying breath.
It feels like there's strings resonating in the vocal booth where he sang or something.
Oh God, please, won't you help me make it through?
This is another just classic line. How please evolves. Listen.
Oh God, please, won't you help me make it through?
That please.
Here they come to snuff the rooster. Ah, yeah!
Love that vibrato at the end of that line, right?
Yeah, here come the rooster. Yeah!
He gets more slidey and sinister.
You know he
Towards the
ain't
end.
gonna die.
Oh.
No, you know.
Now there, it really is placed back, that yarl. You hear the yarl there. But I think my point is that Layne is never stuck in it. It's not a one-dimensional thing like you heard in some of the singers that came after that tried to capitalize on this sound, or they thought they were capitalizing on it, but really it was just this sort of cheap imitation. But listen to this again. No. You can hear him moving it around, almost like he does have this ball in his mouth, and he's moving it around with his tongue while he's singing. That's very different than just being stuck in the no. That's just stupid. But the way that he moves it around makes it work.
No, you know he ain't gonna die.
And then by the time we get to die, he's completely out of it. He's moved it around. He's so dynamic with the way he places his notes. It's playful. It's almost comical. You could hear him not taking himself too seriously, right? Getting up to the mic and kind of being like, no. There's this sense that he's so free because he's not taking himself too seriously. That. Oh. You don't hear that. Never have I heard the end like that. Oh, that's so cool. Listening with the full. Yeah, that repetition thing is there, but because you have the bass in there, oh, that was priceless. I got to hear that again. Just this ending here. Thanks for diving into one of my favorite songs. I'm so happy I got to do this. Again, if you want more help with your own voice, exploring what it can really do, click that link below and join my free course. I've done lots of other isolated track analyses of lots of my favorite songs, so be sure to check out my other videos. If you're just joining me, we'll see you for more.